Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Alexis University. This success series will be a little bit different. I sat down and talked to 14 different millennials about their journey to success. Each week, we will bring you their interviews, so make sure you stay tuned. So first off, can we just start off with your name and what you're doing right now?
So my name is Renisha Brown. I'm a civil engineer for the Department of Defense.
Okay, and then can you tell us a little bit about your journey to where you are now, kind of starting with college? Is that what you went to school for? Did you change your major at any point, or is that something you always knew that you wanted to do?
So when I was in high school, I was in this program called Upward Bound, and basically they took high school students to the college, which was Mercy University, which was closer to my hometown. And through that university, we was able to gain different tools and just help minorities and children that was underprivileged, I guess, in an underprivileged community, just learn about college where we didn't have the tools in our hometown. So through that, I met a mentor where he was an engineer. And he told me to research all the types of engineers. And I started researching. And the first one that caught my eye was biomedical engineer.
Okay.
But through biomedical engineer, I was like, no, I don't want to do all this chemistry. I don't want to do all that. So I looked at civil engineering. And my grasp to that was every time I would travel, I'm from a rural town. So every time I would travel from my hometown to the big city of Atlanta, they would always be doing construction, always doing something that's not normal to me to see on a daily basis.
Okay.
So that grasped me, and that's how I got interested in civil engineering.
And so you talked about how in high school that kind of shaped what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is something that you wish you would have known before you entered college? You talked about it a little bit, but just like something more specific.
What I wish I would have known before I entered college. I wish I really wouldn't have undermined, I guess, my destiny and where I could go.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, I wasn't in the top 10 or that of my class, but I always spoke so highly about I want to go to Georgia Tech, which is a great engineering institute. But because I wasn't in that top, teachers didn't take me seriously. I had good grades. I had like a 3.8 GPA. I just wasn't in the top of my class. Okay. But so they didn't take me seriously. And so from that, I went to a junior college. And from that junior college, I eventually transferred to Georgia Tech.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's talk about that. So you started off at a junior college. Did you do 2 years there and then transferred in?
So let me correct myself. Didn't go. It would be looked at as a junior college. It's an actual university.
Gotcha.
4-year university. But I was able to partake in this program where you're able to do your full, I guess your base course load before you get into your, what's it called? Before you get into like your degree classes.
Okay.
So I was able to get into that, and from there, after I did 2.5 years at Clayton State, that's when I was able to transfer.
Gotcha. Do you think Clayton State helped you prepare better for Georgia Tech than you were prepared for in high school?
So yes and no. So okay. Clayton State, I use Clayton State as basically a playing tool. I hate to say it like that, but I knew I was smart. I knew I could do the work, but I also used it to be very involved on campus, get into different organizations, become Greek, work multiple jobs and everything without putting forth a big effort in my classes. Okay. So classes at Clayton State was effortless to me. So when I got, my whole mindset was when I went to Georgia Tech, playtime was over. Gotcha. Like either it's just gonna be working school, no extracurricular activities, just all about that.
Gotcha. And then what do you think helped you prepare for life today? You're working full time now, you have your bachelor's degree, and then I know you're getting your master's. So what do you think helped prepare you for now?
So what really prepared me today and drove my mindset through the whole thing was people telling me I couldn't do it in high school. So in high school, like I said, I wasn't the top, but because I communicated with a bunch of teachers and, was always asking questions when it came to honors night, usually your top two scholarship recipients are the salutatorian and the valedictorian.
Right.
Well, it was a valedictorian and it was me. We had a big class, but I wasn't near the hundreds. But like I said, I wasn't in the top 10 either. So people always telling me no, that pushed me to be great.
If you knew what you know now, would you go back and change anything about your journey?
So if I knew what I know now, with Georgia Tech, what I would go back and change is I would reach out more to the community when I first got there, to know more of my resources. And I say that because coming into a big school like that, they focus on a bunch of the freshmen coming in, and the transfers kind of get thrown to the wayside because if you're not starting in the fall, you kind of miss all the opportunities to get the information about stuff. Okay. So I started in the spring and we were just kind of just thrown in there. And when I first got to Georgia Tech, after my first semester of school was paid for, I received a call from the financial aid office like, ma'am, you ran out of financial aid. And I was like, I just got here. Like, my just started. Like, how am I supposed to finish school? So by talking to her and, her hearing the passion in my voice about what's been going on, she helped me with some grants, but it also pushed me to where I had to take out a different type of student loan. And what I said I would change is it was a group on campus that helped students who was in need, who would actually, it's called a seed. They would put you into this program where you can get mentorship or you can mentor somebody. And also you're able to get a scholarship to help pay for your tuition.
Gotcha.
So that would have lessened my student loans, that I'm thinking about now. But yeah, I just would have changed getting out there and getting to know who was out there to help me.
Gotcha.
Because you always can't look for people to come to you. You need to go searching too.
Right. Do you think anybody influenced you going to college? Or was it just something that was a natural progression for you after high school?
So in my immediate family, I say on my mom's side, we're a close-knit family. And the only person who at the time I knew of went to college, finished, and is very successful in this field was my uncle. And everybody looks up to my uncle. So with me going through school, I started work at 16. I always was on the 8 on the road, had a good GPA. So the family looked at me like, oh, you're going to do great things. Like, you're smart. You're going to do this. So what influenced me was the drive or like that excitement my family got from seeing me be great.
Gotcha.
So it made me want to go be greater because growing up, I heard my auntie tell my little cousin who I'm real close with, you want to be like Renisha. And I'm just like, no, you don't want to be like me. You're going to be better than me. Like, you're going to be way better than me because I know what to tell you now to help you out so you could be better. So it had to be the push of my family. They didn't push me to go to school. They just pushed me to be great.
Gotcha. And so technically, would you consider yourself a first-generation college student?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so how did that shape you in college? Because I've talked to some first-generation college students, and they kind of said, like, I feel like I didn't have the resources or I didn't know about certain things during college. So how do you think that, shaped your experience?
So what I did know about, of course, the financial aid, you don't know about, you got to pay this back one day and it can ultimately impact your life. But what I did know from my uncle, he went to Morehouse. Right. I got accepted in Spelman and he was like, no, boo, no. He was like, no disrespect to HBCUs. He was just like, it's really expensive. And with me wanting to ultimately go to Georgia Tech, I would still have to do the whole transfer thing like I did from Clayton to Georgia Tech. I would have to do that from Spelman to Georgia Tech. So it didn't make sense financially wise.
Gotcha.
But I'm not gonna say I didn't have resources. It's just my family wasn't. I was the model child basically.
Okay.
So I don't want to, put the blame on them. They didn't know, so I didn't know. But you gonna have that in your family, like you just a project child.
So you talked about your uncle telling you like not to go to a HBCU because it's super expensive. Do you think that really influenced you from going to a HBCU or going to a PWI rather than a HBCU? Because I mean, either way, like college is expensive no matter what.
Yeah.
So what do you think really like was the reason why you chose a PWI instead of a HBCU?
So comfort zone and just fear too. So if you know about Spelman, Spelman is in the heart of Atlanta. I chose Clayton so I can get used to the area. It's on the outskirts, probably 20 minutes from downtown.
Okay.
But if you really know the real Atlanta traffic, that's like good 40. But yeah, I chose that because I wanted to get used to the area. I just wanted to have my hand in everything, but not be, always looking over my shoulder with trying to do too much.
Right.
Clayton, I was able to do that. So I got used to the area, learned my surroundings, and then when I went to Georgia Tech, I mean, it was a breeze.
Gotcha.
That's in the heart of downtown also.
Gotcha. So you feel like for you it was more of a comfort level, not necessarily.
I felt like I needed to know my surroundings. I feel like that's what a lot of people lack, especially coming to a big city. I mean, I'm not trying to just get thrown to the wolves and get ate up, but I just wanted to learn first.
What advice would you give to people who are entering college, people who are like kind of in the middle, and then people who are at the finish line?
So entering college, the advice I would give to you is research. Research the college you want to go to, see if they have your major, because I know a lot of us, we just go to a college because of the name and not what we actually want to do.
Right.
So I would say research that, research scholarships. Just reach out to your guidance counselors and your local club organizations. See if it's something there that you can apply for, get involved in, just to get that extra push. What was the other one?
For people who are at the finish line.
So for people at the finish line, don't give up, especially now in the midst of a pandemic. I would just say perfect your skills and your craft. Communication skills. People want to see that in this daily world that you're able to communicate with them. But ultimately, just don't give up.
And so what's next for you? Right now you're getting your master's.
Oh.
But it's like, if you had to think 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
So if I had to think back a year, I probably wouldn't be in school. But 5 years from now, so I finish my master next December.
Okay.
And I plan to start getting my hand in some project management training with work, trying to get that certification.
Okay.
And also I'm trying to be a full PE engineer. So a full what's the word for it? A professional engineer.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my license to flourish in that. And basically I want to kind of transfer from the engineering side of things over time and just go into the business and just overhead engineering stuff.
Gotcha. So you want to be
behind the computer to in front of people.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I was gonna ask, but you answered that question. Are there any last words of wisdom you would give to students who may be watching this, especially those first generation students?
So first generation, I would just say push. I'm not gonna say you all you have to depend on, but your strength and your peace really matters. So do what's best for you. And for anybody who's out there watching, like, just, you got it. Like, this trouble will not last always. So what's going on today will not be the same thing that's going on a year from now. So pain do not always last.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Alexis University. I truly appreciate like hearing your expertise and just how like your journey from where you started to where you are now. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Success Series. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to get alerted for the next video.